Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello and welcome to Palace Intrigue. I am your host, Mark Francis. Hey, if you're tired of the commercials, I'll let you know how to go commercial-free on Palace Intrigue at the end of the program. Prince Harry will indeed return to Britain in May to celebrate the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games. Following the celebration, he will join his wife Meghan on a visit to Nigeria, according to his spokesperson. On May 8th, Harry will attend a service at St. Paul's Cathedral in London to mark a decade of the Invictus Games, which have been credited with changing lives and saving lives through sport. The service will feature readings by Harry and British actor Damian Lewis, with wounded veterans and members of the Invictus community also in attendance. Following the anniversary celebration, Harry will be joined by Meghan on a trip to Nigeria. The couple has been invited by the country's Chief of Defence Staff, its highest-ranking military official. No further details about the Nigeria visit have been disclosed. Some reports went out of their way to point out Meghan would apparently rather fly 7,800 miles by herself than join Harry at Invictus. It is anticipated that no royals will attend the Invictus ceremony. Royal sources believe Harry will stay in a hotel during his time in the UK. In the Daily Mail, Richard Eden writes, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex were damningly described as effing grifters by a Spotify executive hours after the parting of the ways was announced between them and the audio giant last year. So I'm sorry to hear that Meghan's new deal with a much smaller podcast company is struggling to get off the starting blocks. We'll remind Mr. Eden that the comment is attributed to Bill Simmons, who was reacting to the notion of Meghan being paid $25 million to do 12 episodes of a podcast. As for the new version of the podcast, now pushed back to 2025, Eden reports that a spokesman for Meghan declined to comment, but sources claim she had a list of very high-profile guests scheduled to participate in her new podcasts. It is understood that Meghan's new podcast partner did not want the podcast's launch to be overshadowed by the former actress's television series in which Meghan cooks. The podcast company is also said to be concerned that there would be scheduling conflicts between the launch of its podcasts and that of Meghan's lifestyle brand American Riviera Orchard. One would not want a jam to overshadow a podcast launch. Meghan's new podcast partner says their mission is to make life suck less. Royal expert Kinsey Schofield told GB News they're afraid that her new lifestyle brand, American Riviera Orchard, and her new Netflix series could conflict with the promotion that they'd really like to go into this new podcasting venture. There is, I would suspect, not a lot of money on the line here, or there would be pressure and bigger expectations for Meghan to execute this. We saw that with Spotify. There was a countdown clock. When they only got 13 episodes out of the Sussexes, they gave them the chop. There are sources telling the Daily Mail that Meghan has a list of very high-profile guests scheduled to participate in a new podcast, but does she? Very high-profile guests usually have their diaries filled months in advance. Meghan should know. She used to be that high-profile. A report in the Express suggests Netflix may be infuriated Meghan Markle's brand is not moving beyond making 50 jars of jam. Talk TV host Christo Fufus said, "It is literally American do-nothing Riviera. Netflix, seeing the opportunity and probably infuriated things are not moving on beyond 50 jars of jam, have said we have to step in, try and take over, and sell this stuff if we want to get a TV show." Sophie Trudeau, the former First Lady of Canada and ex-wife of Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, has seemingly given a cold response to Meghan's previous claims of their close friendship. In an interview with The Times, Miss Trudeau played down her relationship with the Duchess, stating, "I know her, but we haven't spent much time together." This comes in contrast to Meghan's earlier statements during an episode of her $25 million Archetypes podcast, where she gushed about her bond with Sophie. Meghan had implied that they shared a close friendship, with Sophie sending her little meditations and voice notes of encouragement during her pregnancy. Meghan also mentioned seeking advice from Miss Trudeau over the years, describing her as a dear friend, someone she admired as being emblematic of strength. During the podcast, Meghan recounted a day of laughter and fun that the two had spent together at her Montecito mansion. She described their children playing in the swimming pool on pizza-shaped floats while they enjoyed wine on the terrace, feeling giddy like absolute schoolgirls. However, Miss Trudeau's recent comments appear to contradict the level of closeness that Meghan had previously implied. The former First Lady's reserved response has left some questioning the true nature of their relationship and the accuracy of Meghan's past statements about their friendship. Palace Intrigue will be right back. Some reviews of Palace Intrigue via Apple Podcasts. Fashion43 writes, British boobs Palace Intrigue. 1 star. Your hatred of MM is palpable. Jealous? Don't you have enough to do to keep the sham royal family in luxury at the expense of the real people of England? How much are the royals paying you to trash Harry and MM? This must be AI. Gertrude and Alice wrote, Best podcast about British royal family, Palace Intrigue, 5 stars. Followers of the British royal family, you do not want to miss this podcast. Daily royal news delivered in a short, informative and concise way by Mark Francis. Subscribe today. Thank you, Gertrude and Alice. William and Kate shared a previously unreleased photo to celebrate their 13th wedding anniversary. The photo shows the then newlyweds after their ceremony. The photo was taken by their personal photographer on the day, Mike Pilkington. Millie shared the image on her Instagram account and wrote, Happy wedding anniversary. Can't believe it's been 13 years. Remember this moment so well. Sending you both much love in this special day. William let it slip that the family owns guinea pigs. During a recent visit to Woodgate Valley urban farm in the West Midlands, William had the opportunity to meet and interact with various animals, including some cuddly guinea pigs. He was allowed to pet them and even brush the fur of one of them named Snowflake. During his interaction with the animals, William shared with those present, These guys are pretty cool. We've got guinea pigs at home and they are not like this. And there you have it. Palace Intrigue is now available commercial-free on Apple subscriptions. If you'd like to hear this show uninterrupted, just look for that banner that says Listen Uninterrupted on the podcast page, and you will get this show commercial-free, along with several other shows from Calaroga Shark Media, including murder shows, romance, ghost shows, feel-good shows. We've got monsters, we've got trivia, and many others, and you can catch all of those commercial-free. Just look for that banner that says subscribe here. I'm Mark Francis. My thanks to John McDermott. This is Palace Intrigue, and good times.